So next I would like to ask the 3 scale-up finalists here in front of me, and then we're going to listen to the 3 ones on alphabetical order: Carb Me, Store Shippers, and Ship Next. So first, let me see all the 3 finalists. Yeah. So, all right. Okay, and make sure you will make the voting. First, Carb Me, and take a mic.
Thanks a lot.
Carb Me.
Yeah, hello all, welcome all. Right now it's easier for me to start because we had so many good presentations before, also what we heard from Farik. My few words to my person, so I worked 5 years for BASF supply chain. We also have seen demand planning, supply planning, integrated business planning, so some are calling it that way. It depends if you go to the IBF logic, to the EPICS logic, or whatever. So we've seen that all, we rolled that out. I can 100% agree with technology is one thing, but if you do not plan in the wave concept, the change management approach, and the business planning and the business ROI concept, you will fail. And this is just about my personal background. Then I started another company which was AI-based sourcing, so 2015 to 2020, also cool. But what is most important, and I think after the digital transformation, we already see it, it will be the carbon transformation. That's at the end the challenge of not a generation, it's our decade. So 2020 to 2030, and it's not just because the capital market guys, BlackRock, etc., are pushing this. It's also because our personal impact should make sense, kind of, because we want to go to holidays on island, which maybe do not exist in 10 years anymore. And we are here in the Netherlands today, so I think I do not need to tell you something about global warming. That's why we started right now 1.5 years ago, Carb Me, with the sake of building a carbon management system. Why? Right now everybody's talking about sustainability, ESG, accounting, reporting, but, and we are all supply chain guys, I worked in the supply chain, if it comes to transform the strategy into action, you need to talk on transactional and on business process level. And honestly speaking, I did not see anything who can serve that. Because we are all talking on, let's say, McKinsey, Boston Consulting Group, the decarbonization roadmap, done. We know scope 1, scope 2, scope 3. We just heard from Sanofi, around about 60% of the overall emissions are in the supply chain, coming from upstream, downstream, and procured goods and services. I know that, for example, BASF wants to reduce until 2030 15% of the scope 3 emissions. What does that mean for us? 1 to 2% per year until 2030, but they have round about 80,000 to 120,000 suppliers, and I guess 2 to 5 million purchasing and logistics transactions behind that. How can you do that with a LCA or sustainability department who is not used to think in supply chain processes, only with software? And that's the reason why we started it. That's an old slide. We are right now 55. This was, I think, 4 weeks ago. Because of the demand, it's so strong. And this is at the end what I just explained. At the end, a lot of companies are currently focusing on the scope 1 and 2 emissions. If some companies are already science-based target-oriented, Dow Jones sustainability-oriented, or have read the SEC announcement in the US 4 weeks ago, they should also think about scope 3, because you cannot hide, I would say, even if it's the complicated way. That's why we implemented such a system, and we designed it according to the management steps, because management needs to understand, and at the end management is not interested in software, and no one wants to see it. I believe almost everybody worked with an SAP system, but no one of the whole team here has really understood all transactions in an SAP system. I do not know anyone at the end, so some worked with production planning, some with SRM system, but no one with an old system. That's why we designed those 4 elements, and behind those 4 elements you have at the end business workflows, so workflow automation, and an automated footprint calculation on a transactional level. So this means you in the supply chain, you can use that for your supply chain partners, customers and suppliers, and then can use that as a negotiation argument. Must criteria, can criteria, penalties, and not ask your partners for a questionnaire and ask them, how much emissions do you have? This is currently the status quo I've seen very often. Some of you know, for example, EcoVadis, it's for the Supply Chain Act. It's questionnaire based. What we do, we empower your team to get material specific and supplier specific carbon footprints that you can talk with your suppliers. You can identify alternative scenarios, for example, outsource your logistics to 3PLs, 4PLs, because then they have the negative effects in their carbon accounting and not you anymore, strategic topic. You should consider in UK plastic border tax. I think it went live 4 weeks ago. We have the carbon border tax adjustment for steel, fertilizers and iron. All that stuff needs to be considered on a transactional level, so this cannot be done with a sustainability team. And that's at the end what is behind. Definitely that's the management case. Some of you may know the DuPont value-based management approach. You need to show some top-line revenues, you need to show some bottom-line revenues, and then you need also to make your shareholders happy. This can be derived out of a pilot system, and at the end that's what we hopefully implement, because our mission is really, first of all, get carbon under management, and then start the reduction path that you achieve your net zero goals in 2025, 2030, and 2040. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. So thank you for the first one, and the next one is store shippers. Good luck.
All right, thank you very much. Nice to be here today. So my name is Peter, and I'm one of the co-founders of Store Shippers. And Store Shippers is the leading platform in ship from store logistics. And what we do is we enable retailers to deliver e-commerce parcels sustainable and same day by using their stores. So when I started this company a little over 2 years ago, I was amazed that it's possible to order a pizza and have it delivered in something like an hour. But for a pair of jeans, you have to wait for 5 days. So why is that? It's actually quite simple. Local sourcing. By using products that are also already close to customers, you can do two things, deliver on two customer wishes that up to now have not been the best friends. Fast delivery and sustainability. Now, fast delivery has become more important, and has recently got a totally new dimension with the help of these friends you see up there. Sustainability, if you shorten the last mile, you can use different types of more eco-friendly ways of transportation, like bikes. The beauty of this is that retailers already have the perfect network and infrastructure to do this if they start shipping from their stores. Nice benefit is that this also brings efficiency to their supply chain. But then, who's going to ship it, right? Because we're talking about using a network of fragmented network of local players. So that's where we come in. And Store Shippers has built a platform that connects retailers to a network of local sustainable courier partners in the big cities in the world. That can actually ship from your store, because that's something that your traditional carriers do not really like. We're the only platform with an international coverage in over 10 countries and more than 350 cities, making it the ideal solution for large retailers because it's accessible via a single API. And this service has brought us some beautiful customers, like Nespresso, Rituals, and Lush Cosmetics that use our services around the world. So with this network, our multi-carrier network of local sustainable couriers, we bring an entire suite of logistics solutions to the retailers. Express delivery, just within a couple of hours. Same day delivery, delivering it in the evening. Scheduled delivery, where the customer chooses the time slot. Locker delivery, where you can pick it up from anywhere you like. But also national delivery, and of course, returns. So besides this logistics suites that we offer, we focus heavily on customer experience. And we try, as we call it, to bring the store to the doorstep of the customer. We do that by shipping it in a normal shopping bag as you would receive actually visiting the store, but also by branding all customer communication that you receive in the style of the retailer. So we get like one experience from end to end. And this is an example of how we did that for rituals. So let me borrow some of Tariq's material here. I think it's time to connect the dots. Indeed, but let's connect the dots a little differently by putting them a little bit closer to each other. So if you're a retailer and if you have a shitload of money, if you want to start shipping from your store and you want to use the largest international network, experience the power of our multi-carrier solutions, and most importantly, a major customer with sustainable same-day delivery solutions, please come talk to me. Thank you.
So thanks, and now the last one is ship next, and beware, and then after that you have the opportunity to vote.
Hello everyone, my name is Alexander Vavarenko and I'm a founder of ShipNext. Before I joined shipping or the international transportation sector, I was a software developer, and then as I joined Shipping University, shipping at that moment was very, very old and traditional, where people used to use telex and fax before even email was heavily introduced in the beginning of 2000, let's say end of 90s. But it all started from the industry, which is today, sorry, doesn't change. Yeah, okay. Sorry. So yeah, so it all started from an industry which is which consists of over 2 million different freight brokers, shipping managers, which work internationally in over 200 countries around the world. So eventually, when it all went from a shipping exchange in London, where London was a shipping hub, and later, a year ago, sold to Singapore, the traditional freight search was people shouting out, "I have a ship," and the others shouting out, "I have cargo to ship." Later on, as telex developed and fax, and eventually email, it all escalated. More countries were involved, more shipping companies were involved, and eventually it's all about millions of people involved daily in communication and exchange of freights. So eventually what we've developed is a shipping market in a digital sense. So we used machine learning and artificial intelligence in order to create a replica of the shipping market, bring everybody onto one platform, processing emails, processing communication messages, and eventually connecting different players around the world into a real-time flow of data, both on the demand side and on the supply side. So literally creating something like Bloomberg Terminal for shipping, where you all can find real-time data on ships. In other words, whatever the cargo is it bulk, break bulk, heavy and oversized cargo, or container, you can instantly find the best way to ship your cargo internationally, which is a very good help because in addition to the human skills which are today used in international trade, at the background of this, you see people who are today still stuck behind their screens processing emails. We know companies which receive 10 to 15,000 emails a day, let alone different messengers, different trading and tendering platforms they have to visit in order to be professional and efficient. But using AI helps them all be much faster, much more successful in their daily lives of shipping cargo around the world. And basically, these are all the features that our platform offers. And we have been 6 years ago the first one to actually patent the process of using artificial intelligence to process and decrypt emails and messages, bringing it onto a platform for freight tendering and freight trading. And of course, all the different solutions that come in a 2 trillion by today industry. But before I go, the first message today was, how do we help Ukraine? We are helpfully stretched between 2 countries. The headquarters is in Benelux, Antwerp, but most of the team has been historically in Ukraine. They have been relocated to Belgium, partly, but we all find today ourselves in a situation which is quite unique for Europe, because all these refugees are actually, contrary to how it was historically, most of them are actually women and children, because the men are actually fighting today where, for their own land. But we all have to ask ourselves, how can we use this to become stronger, both on the defense side, but also on the business side. Today, you all find yourselves in a transitional economy. You're all helping already. You're paying higher fuel costs. You're thinking, how is my business going to be in 5 to 10 years from now? So, use this next year to understand how to make you stronger, your company stronger, and the countries you live in stronger as well. Thank you.